Well, I think if Danny Rule was under any youthful illusion about the task ahead of him at Sheffield Wednesday, it's probably well and truly had his eyes open now. You know, when I saw the team lineup, I thought, fair play to him, that's an exciting lineup, that, as far as Wednesday goes. Very attacking midfield. We'll just have a look at the team. 2 changes for Wednesday. Out went Patterson and Hendrick. In came Lee Gregory and George Byers. So, Cameron Dawson in goal. Back 4, Paul Valentin, Dominic Iofa, Bambo Diaby and Akin Fameo. Midfield, well, it was sort of a 3. George Byers, John Buckley, Barry Bannon and Josh Windass, Tony Mesaba and Lee Gregory up top. I think that's our most attacking midfield, that Byers, Buckley and Bannon in there. And before kick-off, I were on Twitter, I was chatting one or two folks, and I did wonder if he might put an insurance policy in there, you know, whether that be Hendrick or Volks. I thought a bit harsh on Volks actually not being picked after Huddersfield game. I thought he wanted better players. But I thought fair play. He's going for it. 3 very attack-minded midfielders. Going there to try and get a result. Gregory's obviously come back in for Patterson up front. That's a change that I think makes sense because I think you do need to get somebody in there who's a bit more savvy at getting across defenders in 18-yard box, and I think Gregory can do that. In fact, did it tonight. Probably could have scored, should have scored on another day. But yeah, attacking lineup for Wednesday, positive. No Pato in squad at all actually, although I can't say I'm surprised. Worked his socks off on Saturday. Ran himself into the ground, you know. Last time anybody ran as hard as he ran on Saturday were probably at Horse that had to run up from Hastings to Stamford Bridge until King Harold the Normans had arrived, do you know what I mean? So he were rested. But overall I thought, yeah, decent side that. The game, well, we're on a bad run, aren't we? We're on a bad run. And if you said to any Wednesday fan, you're on a bad run, what's your next fixture? They probably wouldn't want to say, oh, it's away at Plymouth, midweek. Because our record down there ain't best. I think we've conceded 11 goals in the last 4 visits. They've got a bit of a hoodoo on it. 2009 since the last win down there, so not a fixture we were particularly expecting out from, I don't think. However, we started pretty well. And first half an hour, and I said this in the last game, and I'll say it again because I think it was better. I think it's best we've played this season in terms of getting forward, closing them down, trying to get into their last third, taking ball to them. And we even had some shots, albeit blocked, you know. There were a couple of shindigaroonies in there. Bannon had one, Windass had one that were blocked. They got us on counter early doors. Whittaker it outside at post. Actually, I will stick up here at this point. Akin Fameo, he did well to get his body in a position that lad had got to curl it round him to get a shot in, and by making him do that, I think that's probably the reason it hits outside at post. But yeah, positive start. Like I said, I thought it was a brave selection in midfield, and for large parts I thought it looked like it were working. Now their left back weren't a left back, so Mesaba got it in a few times and caused him some problems. And I talked about this in Watford game. He's a young lad. There's a reason why he's come here. Do you know what I mean? Let's not be daft about it. There's a reason why Monaco's not kept hold of him. That's why he's here. So he's going to be hit and miss. But I thought he got beaten of his fullback. I just thought decision making, and now and again I thought there was an opportunity where he got to a byline, he pulled the ball back, and he sort of somehow managed to avoid the 3 players that were in there. And could he have even took the shot on? That's the other side of it. although end at first half he did cut a ball back for Gregory, which he put off at bar. Should he have bedded it? I don't know. Defender were with him, so that narrowed angle. Ball were ever so slightly behind him, and he's had to sort of lean round and hook it from sort of behind him. I think keeper had got it covered in own. If he got it on only part at goal that I think he could have shot at, I think keeper had probably got it covered anyway. Cooper was a terrific keeper anyway, so that would have a bar. But yeah, I thought it was positive from Wednesday, for the second time this week. Their lad Bundu, he had an header, ball coming box. I don't know who put it in actually, but a ball coming box. He's got up and tried to get eyebrows on it, and I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to do. And I'd got half a feeling that if he'd left it, he'd probably sneaked in. But yeah, I thought Wednesday were having a good spell. They were obviously dangerous on counter. They got some good players in there. Azaz, Whittaker, obviously. I mean, Hardy, top scorer, he's on bench. I think they're saving him for Ipswich at weekend. So I think they've got a depth that we possibly ain't got. And then there's a crazy 5 minutes which cost us game. The first one is a free kick. Iofa takes a booking for it. I know they were calling for it a red. Was Diaby backfired enough that it, last man, whatever that. Either it doesn't matter either way, does it? Because we got punished. And it was that lad Bunda. Great free kick. Absolutely twatted it into the net. I've seen one or two people, Dawson should save that. Listen, I know we're all frustrated. We all want to F and blind and get it out of the system, but there's no keeper saving that. You'd have in your sen on if you think anyone's getting to that. He's absolutely smashed it. It still dries him when it hits net. It's took a bit of a dink off Barry's head as well on Wayne. Yeah, keeper ain't saving that. He ain't saving that. And then from that, is it a confidence issue then? Because the second goal. I mean, when ball initially comes in, Valentin, there's a man makes a lateral run across front of him, and I think it's Barry Bannon. And if he just side foots it first time with his left foot, comes round it with his left foot, he can play it into Bannon's feet with Bannon's defender behind him. I think that passes on if he plays it first time quick with left foot. But obviously he's right footed. So when he takes that little touch, that pass to Bannon's off then, so he turns in. I've got no idea what he's trying to do with pass to Iofa, who's not expecting it. Certainly weren't expecting it onto his left foot in that position. Their lad's in. It's a nice calm finish. Can Dawson do better with that one? I think he probably can. I think it's at a night where I think he could get his hand to that, if I'm honest with you. But not the first, but the second, and yet I think he can get his hand to that. It's 2-0. And it's game over, because the problem we've got, of course, is we haven't been scoring goals. It's just shy of 10 hours now since we scored our last goal. So, at 2-0 down, it's game over, because the odds are stacked against us scoring one goal in a game, never mind two. The chances of a win are completely out of window, because never in a million years are we going to score three. And it's just a crazy 5 minutes before half time that's cost us this game. Or at least taking a point out of this game. I think going down like we did 2-0 before break, I think that changes Danny Rill's half-time team talk, because if we're going at 1-0 down and we've played well we've played all right for 43 minutes, but I thought we've actually played well for half an hour. I think he probably said to him, just go out, keep doing the same, don't worry about it, what's happened's happened. Suddenly you're 2-0 down. You know that you're not a great goal scoring team, and I think it almost becomes damage limitation from off. Second half, they come out, absolutely got bit between teeth. Confidence is flowing. They're playing with, I won't say a swagger, but they're playing with an ease at start at second half. And we can't really get into gear then. It's like heads have gone. I think this Sasha Lenz, this coach, I think psychologist, I think he's gonna have to get really stuck into him, because the problem with a losing habit is it gets in here, and once he's in, it's very hard to break that cycle. And any level of football, you always hear them shouts of one team will take lead. It's still 0-0. You can't do it. You can't con yourself in that way, because subconsciously you're winning or whatever, or you know you're losing. So, but somehow he's got to get in there and get rid of that sort of mentality that we're a goal down or 2 goals down in this instance, and that's that. Smith come on for Buckley at break. I'm not sure Smith-Gregory works as a partnership at this level of football. I think for me it's one or other flanked with 2 quicker players, but we got to a 4-4-2. It looks like a 4-4-2 to me for about 5 minutes, and then Gregory starts dropping off a bit, sort of into OWLS, and it sort of becomes a 4-2-3-1. And we're still having little moments. We get a few set pieces, and that's an area that we've really got to work on. Now, apparently we've brought a new coach in to work on set pieces this week, Nico Newbell, I think they call him. That's going to be vital, because it's small margins in it, and if you're not a team that's scoring goals in open play, you've got to take every advantage you can, whether it's a corner or a long throw or whatever it is. So I'm hoping this bloke can work something out, because it's not a new problem either. Even for all the success we had last season with promotion, and even going right back to Carlos, even then it seemed to be a case of who's nearest ball, where do you want it, and then we'll blast it over the bar. And the only time I can really remember is in the last few years doing some set pieces that were a bit different and caught teams off guard, but actually when, and nobody likes to admit it, but when Tony Pulis were in fact I think we pulled off some sort of short corner routine on his first game, and we've really got to work on that, because they're free opportunities, aren't they, to work something that opposition's not expecting. We had a few today that they've hit wall, they've just been driven in, chipped into an area where it's easy for keeper just to come out and take a chest catch. So that's something we've really got to look at working on. But, I mean, 2-0 down. Wednesday do have actually a little 5-minute spell. Windass has a shot that's sort of into midriff for Cooper, and I think we've got 3 or 4 corners, but again they just sort of floated in there, and that Scar at centre half, he's having for dinner in air, one of them players who'll head out away. So frustrating. I mean, the unbelievable thing was that at 2-0 down, suddenly Wednesday fans sort of come back to life. At the beginning of the game, that's all you could hear were Wednesday fans in fine voice. Travel down there. I mean, what is it down there? 9.5 hour round trip, 10. And then they actually come to life again when we're 3-0 down. It is fantastic. 3-0 down. Robbed in midfield. It's not even a tackle. He just sort of nicks it off his toe. That Azaz, good player. Little ball in, lay off on edge at box into wide area, and that's swept home. 3-0. 2-0, 3-0, it doesn't matter, does it? We're not going to come back and score that number of goals, but that's sort of a nail in coffin of any lingering hopes or confidence that Wednesday might have had from the game. Can keeper do better there? Possibly. But it's one of them, it's close to body. I mean, you see goalkeepers, top level goalkeepers, watch Match of Day, you see goals scored in that zone, if you like, every week in, week out. It's 3-0. Bannon and Byers came off. I think that were Danny Rule essentially saying, well, we've got another big game Saturday, so Hendrick came on. We Will Volks. Gassama came on. I've not seen a lot of that kid, and obviously you come in a game when it's 3-0 and heads have gone. It's not the best environment, for a young kid to come into. So I think he's only 20-year-old. So he comes in there. He has one decent run, but then he performs a manoeuvre at one bit. He's down the byline. He puts what I thought were going to be a crossing, and it's gone out for a throw on the side. It's travelling towards the halfway line. I don't know what. Well, like I said, it's 3-0 down, away from home, in a country you don't know, in a team that you've hardly been in starting 11. It's not the ideal environment for the young kid to be in. But I didn't really see out there that I'd be thinking, he'd be my starting 11 next week. But he got chucked on, and I think that's a case of Danny Rule wanting to have a look at everybody, because it's one thing in training. Anybody can look good in training. I think if you're in right mood and you're playing against your mates, different thing when you're playing opposition who actually do want to kick you and go through you and whatever, and that competitive nature at league. So I think it's probably a case that he just wants to have a look at everybody in a competitive environment, and he's working his way through it a bit. 10 minutes to go. Plymouth make some changes. They dropped to a back five, which, they're 3-0 up, why not? They've got Ipswich on Saturday, big game for them, so he made plenty of changes. Schumacher rested a few for Saturday. And just last 10 minutes out then. Wednesday a little bit desperate by that stage, trying to force issue. And that's when ground just erupts to a chorus of hi-ho silver lining again. It's easy for fans to get miserable and start slagging team off and that, but I think what that shows is just that gallows humour, if you like, and fans won't be kept down all the time. Football is what it is. You don't expect to win every week, and in your lifetime, you're going to have shit seasons. And I think for a lot of Wednesday fans, there's a level of realism to that, and try and enjoy the day for what it is. Like I said, it's nearly a 10.5 hour trip down there, so absolutely fair play to all them that went down. As for Wednesday, as I said, first half I thought we were quite good. For 20 minutes, 25 minutes at first half, I thought we were a better team. I genuinely did. But it's about creating them opportunities. I won't say we create clear-cut opportunities. What I would say is we got in good positions in last third and didn't make them into really good opportunities, if you know what I mean. It's always final ball or final run or whatever it is, or even making a decoy run. It's just it ain't clicked. Although there's an argument, I know we scored a lot of goals last season, but even then there were times when I was like, it never quite clicks at top end. We were playing against some incredibly poor defences last season, so we did score a lot of goals, but I don't think we've really clicked 100% up top for quite a few years. So it's another defeat, but overall, I'm going to nail my colours to Master. I like the kid, and I hope that we're in trouble with 11 points adrift. The probability is we will get relegated. I hope we back him in January and try and help wriggle our way out of it. But if, as the probability comes true that we do go down, I hope we keep hold of this kid, because, as I said, although it's been 2 defeats, I can see a style emerging. I can see what he's trying to do. Now, whether the players are good enough, that's a different matter. But I can see what he's actually trying to implement on the park, and for me, that's half of the job. So a 3-0 defeat today. But, you know, is there a difference between a 3-0 defeat and a 3-0 defeat? Well, there is, because, you know, if I got run over by a bus tomorrow, and it were my last ever watching a Wednesday match, I'd prefer knowing they lost 3-0, going out giving it a go, than they went out, lost 3-0, spending 95 minutes in their own 18-yard box and never winning in opposition half. Do you know what I mean? There is different types of 3-0 defeat, if you know what I mean. So I do. The kid's winning me over with the way he's trying to do things. Like I said, the squad might not be good enough. The task in hand to keep us up might be too great at this stage. Even with a decent January, if we can buy a few and let a few out. So if we do go down, and it looks likely, but if we do go down, I hope we keep hold of him, because I could see this kid building something. Because in the very short window of time he's had, the turnaround in the effort we're seeing on the park, in the style we're seeing on the park, is so much better, despite the fact the results have continued flatlining. Yeah, as I said, it is 11 points. A huge game against Rotherham on Saturday tonight, and they've had a result today. So it scores down bottom end, obviously Wednesday with that 3-0 defeat, but Rotherham United, fantastic win for them at home against Coventry City. Lee Peltier 51 minutes, and then Ollie Rathbone 93 minutes to seal the victory for the Millers. And a good result for them, 2 goals and a clean sheet before they play Wednesday next match. So that defeat, our 10th of the season, our worst ever start. Played 13, won none, lost 10, minus 17 on goal difference. Just the 3 points on the board, 11 points from safety, 11 points behind Huddersfield Town there. Rotherham's 2-0 win against Coventry pulls them further away from us by 6 points, and even QPR, even they've got 2 wins. Huge game on Saturday, very tough game on Saturday, good win for them and a clean sheet. Us, another defeat. But despite that 11 points, as I said, it's not impossible. We've still got January window to come. We do need to put hands in pocket and get some players in, especially in top third at pitch. But if we get a win against Rotherham on Saturday, things start to look a little bit different. I think start nicking wins. The probability of us staying up is low, but not impossible. Plenty of points to play for. And if he can just keep turning things around, the turnaround of the style of play for me has been, in such a short period of time, I think it's been quite impressive. If he can continue to do that and maybe get some better players in, we've still got a chance.